Hello everyone, hello. This year is dedicated to Ili Nishmas, Rachalea Bas, Reb Chaim Tzvi. So we're coming towards the end of Klal Daled, and we're up to Seif Yud in Klal Daled of the Sefer Chafetz Chaim. And here the Chafetz Chaim is entering an area that we've touched on, but we haven't really addressed in a full sense, in a complete way. And now the Chafetz Chaim really starts discussing the idea of Lashon Hara li toelis. Speaking Lashon Hara for a benefit. This is when Lashon Hara is mutter. To help someone, to protect someone, to help someone, to guide someone. And that's the topic of the next two halachas, Seif Yud and Yud Aleph in the Chafetz Chaim. When it's mutter, not only is it mutter to speak Lashon Hara, when it's a good idea to speak Lashon Hara, it's proper to do it. This is called Lashon Hara li toelis. Taf, vav, ayin, lamed taf, for a benefit. Okay, now, the Seif Yud is really a continuation of Seif Tes. In Seif Tes, we saw last week that you're not allowed to speak Lashon Hara about somebody's midos. Somebody has bad midos, they haven't acted properly, so it's also to talk about that. Just like you can't talk about the fact that someone's doing averas, you can't talk about that. You're not allowed to talk about the fact that someone has bad midos. Oh, but building on that, the Chafetz Chaim starts as follows, and Seif Yud as follows. V'afal pichen, meaning, even though you can't speak Lashon Hara and stam talk about somebody's bad midos, but in the following scenario, you're allowed to do it. Here we go. V'afal pichen, im roa adam bi'echad mida maguna. If, let's say, a person sees that somebody has a bad midah, a bad character trait, kagon, gaiva, kas, Oshar midos ros. He's a Baal Gaiva, he's always getting angry. Oshu batlan b'Torah, or he's a batlan, he wastes all his time. Now you're the one, you see this. You have friends, you have children, you have students. So now, you don't want your friends, children, students to be influenced by this person with the bad midos. So here the Chafetz Chaim is going to say that it's proper to talk about this person to your children, friends, children, and or students, in order that they should stay away and not be influenced. Nachon l'saper davar zeh livno l'talmidav v'lehasiram shlo yischaber imo k'dei shlo yubnu mimaisav ki ha'ikar ma she'isira ha'torah b'lashon hara afilu al emes. The essential nature, the essential yesod, principle of the Isser Lashon Hara is to speak badly of someone if your intention is to degrade the person. That's your intention. But if your intention is to protect someone, if my intention is not to hurt him, my intention is to help my friend, to help my student, to help my child. It's mutter and it's a mitzvah to do that. Well, that's what the Chafetz Chaim says. So it's mutter to speak this Lashon Hara and it's a mitzvah. This is not negative speech. This is positive speech. This is helping people. You're protecting someone from someone who can be a negative influence. So fundamentally, in this type of scenario, it's mutter to tell your children, it's mutter to tell your students to stay away from this person and explain the negative midos which the person has, that they should be aware that not to learn from this person's actions and not to be influenced negatively. That's good. Now, the Chafetz Chaim then starts giving qualifications and eitzas and good ideas, advice about how to do this. Now here we go one at a time. Ach ba'ofen zeh v'chayotze b'zeh nira de mitzvah lemesaper levayer hatam lama mesaper b'gnusa shel chaveiro kidei shel yitah hashomer l'hatar al yado yoser mizeh. You have to tell the person why you're saying it. The person you're speaking to, you have to tell them why you're saying this and why you think it's mutter to say this. Number one, so the person you're speaking to shouldn't take what you're doing and go further and say, I think everything's mutter. So you're speaking to Ruvain, you're warning Ruvain to stay away from Shimon. You have to explain to Ruvain why you, the speaker, think that it's mutter to say this to Ruvain in this case. So Ruvain shouldn't think that all Lashon Hara is mutter. And also, Begam, you're contradicting yourself. Kipam yomar lo she'asur l'sapar fi'ol emes, k'mo she'yisbar l'kaman b'chal tes, ve'atu m'sapar be'atzmo. Your kid. This especially applies with children. Children can smell hypocrisy, a mile away. You tell your children, don't speak Lashon Hara. And here you're speaking Lashon Hara. So the Chafetz Chaim says, you better explain to them why in this case you think it's mutter, and make it clear and that understandable that Lashon Hara is aser. You're not allowed to say bad things about someone, but in this case, even I think that you're allowed to, based on the Chafetz Chaim, because we're saying this not to hurt the other person. We're saying this to protect and to help your children or the